PUS'HER, you were moving with purpose. You were speaking with purpose. PUS'HER, we are healing out loud with you. Don't stop pushing forward. Don't stop sharing your truth. Continue to trust God and believe in His plans for you. PUS'HER, we are healing with you. We see you.
Hey, it is your girl Pusher. If you're not pushing forward, you are moving backwards. Say it out loud. Forward ever, backwards never. No,
Forward
really,
ever,
say
back.
that thing. Yes, forward ever, backwards never. Hey, you in the chat, thank you for showing up on this good Wednesday. As always, I definitely appreciate you. I thank you for always showing up, always being supportive, always pushing, always giving affirmations, always empowering. um all of us, I thank you for not just being spectators but participants in this journey, not only your healing journey but everyone's healing journey that decides to take part in this journey of healing out loud as we work on the initiative healing 1 million people, one person at a time. Now, did you go over to pusherlife.org and take that pledge? If you did, I have a surprise for you. By Friday, I will be forwarding an email to everyone who has taken the pledge. And the first person that shows up next week and say put in the chat forward ever, backwards never. No, I'm gonna do the first 3 people that show up in the chat, that, and this is you responding to the email. So you have to respond. That's it. We live, people. Bear with me. So once you get the email, respond to the email forward ever, backwards never. I'm only talking to the people who has already taken the healing 1 million people, one person at a time challenge. If that is you, look for an email from the pusher. Read it in its entirety. I'm going to know if you read it. Then I want you to respond to the email forward ever, backwards never. Once you do that, I am going to respond to you. Then next week, the first 3 people that has responded via email forward ever, backwards never, you will win. The first 3 people will win something from your girl, the people pusher. And I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. And if you need me to tell you again, just say it in the chat. And when we get towards the end, I will repeat it again. In the meantime, between time, what's up, chat? I see you. High Def in the building. Lori ATL is in the building. I thank you. Yes, I need for y'all to keep the chat active tonight. I need you. If you hear something, you have a question, I want you to get ready to ask your questions. If you are seeking and searching for understanding, if you are in a marriage, in a relationship, intimate relationship, a partnership, I'm telling you, this conversation is for you. And for those that are on the opposite end of the spectrum, still trying to figure it out, you definitely will be encouraged and be a little more hopeful that your person is on the way. In any event, I know I give a lot of challenges, but this is not a challenge. This is actually, I want you to make it do what it do. If you need me to repeat the assignment, tell me in the chat, and then I will, towards the end, repeat it. So, I like to maximize every second of every minute in this hour. And so, here we are. I know y'all wondering, some people it's like, well, who is that lovely lady over there? Well, let me introduce you to this beautiful lady that is sitting beside me. She is one of my sisters from the Ladies League of Baltimore. And if I could say anything about her, I would say she is a walking library. She is a library in human flesh. I am telling you, she has a wealth of knowledge. She knows so much. And I just be so intrigued that someone of her caliber has as much wealth of knowledge and experience that goes with that knowledge. It's just intriguing. And I think every now and then we should slow down and kind of listen, and receive wisdom from a place that may be far from us, or that we're almost we knocking on the door where soon somebody gonna be looking at us. Tell me about your history. Tell me what you know. But no, without further ado, I just want to let you know that this beautiful woman, not only is she my sister of the Ladies League of Baltimore, but she is now a part of the Global Butterfly Effect community, where reading you can feel, where I am also. I don't know if I'm still new, but we both are members. So we are flying globally, which means that our voices, through publication, through written document, is actually not just where we live at, but it is being received and appreciated far, far beyond our imagination. And before I go any further, shout outs to the United States, shout outs to the United Kingdom, and shout outs to Canada. Why am I saying this? I was checking, doing a little research, and checking, on YouTube, my analytics, and I see that I got some rhythm. I got some rhythm going on. So shout outs. But of course, most of my percentage comes from of people watching comes from the United States. So I definitely appreciate that where I rest at, that I am definitely being seen and supported. But when I seen Canada and United Kingdom, I was like, oh, wait a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because I took a look at that today, and I know some big channels probably is like, what girl, we way past that. But for me, you got to start where you start, and I appreciate when I can see movement in what I'm doing, and so I definitely appreciate that, and I wanted to bring that to the pusher community because it is you showing up where we can definitely do what we do. So Miss Eliza, I need you to adjust your phone again. We want to see more than just your forehead.
Oh, is it? Can you see me now?
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Thanks for that, Michelle, for being the eyes that I can see everything. Okay, so Miss Eliza, how are you? Can you? I know I talked and ramble. That's what I do, and they put up with me. Um, but no, I want you to introduce yourself because I know that no one really can introduce you better than you, and no one can tell the people who you are better than you can. So I definitely do not take that lightly, and so I'm going to take this time and ask that you tell the pusher community who you are.
So I call myself a community anchor because I I community is everything to me. And so I wear many different hats. Some people know me from doing community engagement and workshops. I'm also a natural health educator. And so it's in that light that I wrote the book Holistic Health for Couples, because if we're going to be in a community, we want to have a healthy community. And so one of the things that I found early in my life is that people don't take proper care of themselves. And as a result, there are many, many things
So
in
Miss
terms of
Eliza,
health.
so
Hmm.
I do mean to cut you off. So let's slow down for a minute. I don't want to
Okay.
get into
Oh,
your
you
book
asked me about
just
my
quite yet. I want to know, yeah. So now you got to get pushed by the pusher. I want you to tell the people who you are, not what you do,
okay.
not what you can do.
Okay.
Who is Miss Eliza?
So what I was about to say is one of my passions, my primary things is why I do this, is I believe in prevention. So for me, being able to be healthy and to maintain that health is important for me. But it's also, again, I have to extend it out to others. I have a father who is 99 and a half years old. I don't know if you ever heard the song 99 and a half won't do. But he knew this song and he told me, I said, "Oh, have you heard this song?" And he says to me, "My grandfather loved that song." I said, "That song is that old?" I had never heard of it. I'm a mother and a wife. I just had my 38th anniversary, um, the end of May. And again, I'm a community person. So,
So, Miss Eliza, indulge me for a minute. Let's
okay.
do kind of like a icebreaker. I feel a little silly. I feel like a kid who's talking to her grandmother. I feel like a kid who gets the chance to talk to her grandmother. So just indulge me just for a minute. I'm going somewhere with this. So just come on, just let's just go forward. What's your favorite color?
Oh, my favorite color. Okay. So right now I have maybe about three or four. So purple, black, and red. But my absolute favorite for most of my life has been earth brown.
Wow, I've never heard that before. Intriguing. What
Hmm.
is your favorite food?
Oh, I'm a foodie. I like food. So you have to give me a
So what
when you
so what do
my
you eat
favorite
the most?
Italian, huh?
So what do you eat the most of?
Okay, so my favorite food, if I have to choose something, would be dark leafy greens.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I know it's not appealing to you, but if you see the way I cook the greens and stuff, you'll be like, "Oh, I never had this before." So that they're really delicious.
Wow. Okay. I wouldn't have never picked you as a foodie. I didn't know that about you. Okay, so I learned a fun fact about you. Miss Eliza is the foodie. Okay, I have one more geeky question. Not so geeky. I take that back. Out of all the hats that you wear, that at the beginning you were telling us that you do, out of all the hats that you wear, if you could just wear one for 1 week, what hat would that be?
Oh, definitely being the center of the universe is the mother in the family, the wife, the daughter.
You
Just
got to pick one hat for a
that's
week.
what I'm
What?
saying. That would be caring for family, doing that 1 week where I'm the
Oh,
family, the family person. I don't know how to
the
describe it
okay,
other than
okay. I got you. I understand. Sounds like we need some greens. Y'all better go get them greens.
that's right. Amazing.
Yeah, no,
That's
one of
right.
these. It's amazing. Yeah, so okay, cool. I've learned some things about you. I thought it just came to me. It was important for me to do that because first we got
Hmm.
to know see that you're human, that you like the same things that we like. Sometimes many of us we serve in so many different capacities and we wear so many hats, and so when people see us, that's what they see, the hats, that all the hats, that's all they see. And then sometimes it can discourage people, what feeling like that where you are, I can't get there, is untouchable.
Right.
um
Right.
because all we see is the hat. But if I am able to identify and connect and see that you like some of the same things that I like. You enjoy some of the same things that I enjoy. It makes it makes me more comfortable and more relaxed in that pocket. And so this is just food for thought, for everyone, for all of us. Just a little quick lesson in something actually I got from reading about communication and my book that I have, Holistic Health for Couples. And so that was an exercise that I birthed out of doing, reading about communication and then starting in week 1. And so for me, that's how I retain information. That's how I know that I got it and that I'm going to do something with it, because I actually create work, more work for me to do out of it. That, don't ask me why my brain is wired like that, but it just is. And so because it had that effect, I want to know from you, one, did you expect there to be a cause and effect? Like, I'm reading, you know that I purchased a copy because I attended your book signing so that you can sign my book. I am excited. Yes, sign
Yeah.
my book. And so, yes, I want to know, did you think that there would be a cause and effect so quickly?
Yes, I absolutely hope that would be the case, because you always, like you say, you always have to start with yourself. So everything in the book I've applied to myself. And I wrote this book like 6, 7 years ago, and it just now is getting published. So, and then going back through it, um, absolutely, you get refreshed by it, but because you want to, like I said, you want to practice, you want to preach what you practice. And so, yes, I expected people to read it and at least have an aha moment, even if they're not able to apply it, because I believe in planting seeds, the idea of it, and then how it comes to fruition. Sometimes people like you, they're quick to it, and other people, it might take them a little bit of time. So,
Wow. So
yeah,
so yeah, smack right on. Right on. So I wanted to give you that, to let you know and let you see in real time that I read the book, because
yeah,
I just demonstrated that part with you and I just now. Even though and I don't want to give the book away, I'm just talking about the effect
right.
that the what I read had on me. So I'm not telling you what's in the book. I'm telling you the results um,
Hmm.
from reading the book and doing the work. I'm glad that one of the things that validates me in being willing to go through this process. Um, why do you think it is important for health in relationships, holistic health at that? Why is that so important for relationships?
Of life,
Uh-oh, I didn't
because
know you was.
to have good quality of life. If you can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You're a
Because
little
if you're going to be in a relationship, you okay. So when you want to be in a relationship, you want to have a quality relationship with someone. You want your quality of life to be the best that it can be. So, going from being very young to be very old, you have different stages in life. And one of the reasons that I was sparked to write this book is I had people who said, we're gonna retire. So we're going to put off doing a trip. We're going to put off doing that. We're going to do all these things. And then the person retires, or the couple retires, and they have all these plans, and they're not able to do them because health issues come along that prevent them from doing all these wonderful things that they wanted to do. And then you have other people who do that and they take care of themselves and they have that life together. I have an example. My husband's grandparents, they were married 73 years, and you could see them taking care of each other. That was another thing that sparked this. They've been gone maybe 20 years now, but They had their last anniversary was. I'm not 73 years old yet. That's still freaking me out. Um, but when you can have that quality of life together and do the things you want to do together, so that you're not having to nurse someone. I'm not saying that's a wrong thing to do, but you want to do the best you can. Grandmother had she had a stroke, but granddaddy he didn't. He was going till the day his heart just gave out, and so he cared for her, but she lived past him. So that's what I'm talking about. What do you do to care for each other so you can have the best life together for as long as you can?
Wow. And so why is communication so important in a relationship?
Because in relationships you're two different people. You've been raised in two different. Well, I'm going to assume
Wait a
you've
minute,
been
wait a
raised in
minute,
two different.
wait a minute, Miss Eliza. Wait a minute, Miss Eliza. Somebody had a let me pick somebody had a you can be proactive is what I hear you saying.
Yeah,
So are you saying that the individual can be proactive?
yeah, yeah. So if you know, and so again with this book, if you know what your tendencies are in your family genetically, you know that there's a tendency for heart disease, or there's a tendency for diabetes, or there's a tendency for dementia. What are the things you can do to be proactive to prevent those? Because they are preventable. And so, what can you do to make sure that you prevent that from even just becoming a factor in your life? And that's when you, with intention, take time to do the things that foster good health rather than letting just doing anything. And I mean by that, like eating dead foods or fast foods on a regular basis. I'm not saying you can never do that,
So
but
how
it's
does
like if that's your
communication
regular basis or that's your go-to, then it's gonna,
right?
it's gonna.
So let's go back.
Okay, communication.
Yes,
So
let's go back.
everybody is so everybody is different. So you have to learn each other. So like when you first get to know it, you might not know the next thought, but as you get to know each other, that dynamic in your relationship changes and it grows. So you might not like everything about somebody. So communication is for you to learn how to listen for what you have in common, to listen for your differences, because one of the most important things in relationship is compromise. Well, you know what? Okay, that's fine, because if we're gonna get along, I might have to compromise. I can't have everything all my own way. But if you don't communicate that, because sometimes people just like, I'm just gonna go along, and then they blow up because they never shared. Did you know what? I have a problem with that. Can we work something else out? So it's just that shared um, respect for one another's and what works for you and what doesn't,
And so
and
what
then being
what
able to support each other in love.
right. So what
So you don't want anger in.
oh, I think it's a delay. I think your connection
Yeah.
is not on our side right now. All right, say forward ever backwards never. Is it a
Forward,
delay?
ever, never.
Okay, your voice is choppy. Um, and I think that there is a
Okay,
delay,
I
but
don't.
we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. So what motivated you? I know you said that you wrote this publication 7 years ago. What motivated you in 2025 to get it published?
No, it's always been on the table to get published.
We can't hear you.
It's just been able to find. the means and the way and the time to make it happen. It's all that serendipity. Oh,
All
all
right,
right.
chat. I need y'all energy. I don't know what's happening.
Can you hear me now?
You are choppy. I cannot repeat anything that you just shared.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you.
Okay. I don't know what to say.
All right, can you
Okay.
repeat your
Can you hear me now?
Oh, can you go out and come back in?
Okay. Is it still choppy?
Yeah, go out and come back in. While I'm gonna keep the chat company while you work it out. It happens, people. We live, real life, and it just happens. And what we are professional. You just keep it going. And so, yes, if you have any questions that you want to know, that you want to ask Miss Eliza, understand that she is someone who has a wealth of knowledge. And if you have a question, ask her, and I will walk her through the answer. I will help her answer. Other than that, how has your day been? Y'all not as active as y'all normally be. What y'all tired? It's hot outside. Y'all driving. What is going on? Yes. Intentional actions. Okay. I know Shell is. All right, chat. Let me talk to y'all for a minute while we wait. This is a sidebar. I know Shell is sick of me because she be talking to me in the chat. She be talking to me, trying to get my attention, and I don't be paying it no mind. So then she got hot back over here, and then to get my attention, y'all pray for me. I pray for Michelle too, so that she won't quit on me. I'm telling you. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right. All right, forward ever, backwards never. Let me hear you say it.
Forward ever, backwards never.
Yes, we got the value. See what happens when we just be patient and professional. Yes. All right, Miss Eliza. So you that what I heard, yes, pray for me. What the last thing that I heard, and then it just became choppy, was the publication Holistic Health for Couples was already on the table. And I had asked what from the question that I asked, what motivated you to get this published now.
No, and I always said I've always been looking to publish it and hone it, and it was just serendipity. Serendipity is what I say. Everything just came together for it to happen.
And so what was it like for you to get it done?
Oh, it gives you a great sense of accomplishment. That you put something together that, well, for me, that I feel that it was uh, refined in a way that it's, that I could publish it and be proud of the work that I produced, having that sense of accomplishment.
And so why should people buy, purchase, and read Holistic Health for Couples? Why should people invest in that?
Well, there are a lot of, so I function from the natural point of view, the holistic point of view. And so a lot of this information used to be old time common sense information, talking to my grandmother, my grandfather. But I'm talking to young people today, they're looking at me like I'm crazy because they never heard any of this, some of the things that I talk about, or to even know to think about. So I try to put together information that just takes you step by step. It's natural, part of your life, not hard or anything. It's not academic or you have to be a genius to understand. This is no just everyday common sense things that I want to pass on to my children and my grandchildren.
And you know what? When I was reading it, now it just all makes sense. Because when I was reading it, I was like, this is really not that deep. If we just do ABC, it bam, it is. And I can remember even just like I took oral communication and I didn't even learn about the I statements until I took AVP, Alternative to Violence program. It was a group. And that's when I learned about using the importance of using I statements in communication. And I was like, sometimes we just make this communication so difficult. Why do you think that? Why do you think we make communicating to another so difficult?
Well, I'm gonna say that's a layered question because it really does start with your socialization from your parents as a child, and then you also then have the layer where the environment that you're in, um, and then it's what once you get older, what you choose to target is being important to you. So it's those different layers that make communicate. So if you decide, like I have people decide, I like myself just the way I am, and I'm not going to change. I'm just going to be the way I am. If I feel this way about something, I feel this way about something. And I'm like, okay, wow, because I'm a perpetual learner. I'm ever growing and changing. I'm not the same person. Like my children talk to my family from when I was like 20 years old, and I didn't have my first child till I was 30. And they go, "Mommy, they don't know you." I said, "Well, they knew me when I was that age, and that's we don't believe that because I'm so different. We don't believe that they don't." And I said, "No, they don't know me now, but they knew me then, and yeah, that's how I was." But life is a journey. You grow and you change. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So I might be going out on a limb when I ask this question. So what 7 years ago, what was that um what's the word I'm looking for?
Motivation.
Well, yeah, what motivated you to put this together? To even think about it?
Oh, well, so the thinking about it started like almost 20 years ago. The first book I did is I'm getting ready. It's getting ready to come out. Is a second edition. Was just on. It was called Creating Intimate Moments, and it's on what do you do to be able to have the intimacy you want in the relationship, or to even have the relationship you want, and to keep it going over time. So I think at that time I've been married 20 years ago, so almost almost 20 years. So, so as you go through the seasons, these are the things you go through and you have to work through in your own relationship. I mean, and that's one thing I always tell people, I have yet to meet the perfect person. So that's why I'm talking about that compassion and that compromise that you have in your relationships. And in particular, your intimate relationships. If you can do that, because that's who gets to you the most, that's who triggers you the most, are those closest to you. And if you can work through those relationships, if you can have the tools to use so that you don't go into I would say a funk over something. It's like the example I said at the launch where your partner does something to you and you're looking at them and it's like, or they say something that's the wrong, and then you look at them. I say, have you had enough water to drink? Like particularly on these hot days, like my husband went out and he was working in this heat, and I knew. I said he's gonna be having some attitudes because he's gotten overheated. So I'm not taking anything he says or does personally. I'm gonna get him some water. I'm gonna help him feel better, but I'm not gonna take his being affected by the heat personally. That's.
So it almost sounds like not only are you self-aware, but you know your partner. And because
Mhm.
you know your partner, you know how to move
Right.
because you are emotionally intelligent enough to say, oh, he out there working, he is going to be upset. He hot, irritable, frustrated, tired.
Right.
Let me go
Yeah.
get him some water
Yeah.
because even, I know he gonna come with something to say, and I'm just gonna make sure I make this sure this water is the best water he had in a long time because what you're
Yeah.
doing, what you're saying to me, and just correct me if I'm wrong, what you're saying to me, instead of agitating the agitation that you are aware of, you remain steadfast in who you are in that moment, and you do not allow that energy in that moment to change you because
Right.
you prefer to operate from a place of compassion. And so, what you're
Mhm.
choosing to do
Uh,
is make in love, make sure be the solution to the problem that you foresee.
so what I say to my children is always look at a situation and you can escalate something or you can diffuse it. So in order to diffuse the bombs, you need to have some skills. And so you need to do that's work you have to do. That's my prevention piece. What do I need to know? What do I need to do? What do I need to practice in order to display these positive mental behaviors? What do I need to do? And there's a whole list of things we can do. Like you do in your book, you have the affirmations. You write
Oh
poetry.
yeah,
That's something
about
I
that.
do. That's right.
About my book. Oh yeah, can you say
Yeah.
it? Can you
Yeah.
say it? Can you say it? Can you say it?
Yeah. Oh no, I can't
There it
see it. Oh
is.
now, yeah. And
There it
so that's
is.
important. That's important to know. The journaling, writing poetry. I know I would when I get angry with people. I don't take it out on them. I say, how can I put this in um in a poem or in a story in a way that's not negative or and it's hard sometimes. I wrote a story about the snake. I was talking about somebody. I had to get it out, and I said, "Oh yeah, that snake likes to bite." Well, but it didn't name anybody. I only knew what it was addressing, and it helped me to work through what it was and process it and move on, and not hold it against the person. And by not hold it against the person, I mean that I just had to deal with whatever I had to deal with, but I wasn't giving negativity back to them or making the
Mhm.
situation worse.
Wow, that is maturity at its highest. I don't think I'm.
Girl, ain't nothing but God.
I gotta go back I gotta go back. Maybe I need to stay in communication a little longer because I just learned something about myself. Y'all will want to know, don't y'all? Nope, this ain't about me today, baby. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So now I was actually looking for my notes because, like I said, I really did start positive communication, and I. So we're talking about the first point, the first month, and then there's weeks that you can really take your time and really go through it. Um, Miss Eliza, I just want to say that I definitely appreciate your passion. I appreciate that you've seen a need to offer your expertise because I believe you have mastered the art of communication and not even communication. Um, sharing with us what real compassion looks like. Because we oftentimes say we are compassionate, we give grace, and we use these words. But if you really think about it, how consistent are we? Are we really, are we selective in when we give grace, when we are showing and demonstrating compassion? And I'll be the first to admit, I can be selective. I really can. And I mean internal. I get more in trouble in my mind than I do anywhere else. So I'm really just revealing what goes on in my mind because in my mind, sometimes I am having a fit about something. that may have agitated me or whatever. And
Right. And that's okay. But you take that breath and you breathe through it. And like you say, you always, and I love that because you tell people, that's why I say, I don't need the same thing Carly to tell people. You face that and you own it. That's how I feel. Now, what you do with it, that's the question. So for me, it's always, what tool do I have in my belt that will help me to handle this in a way that's going to foster good health, mental health in myself, and not cause more problems. And maybe if there's a solution that's needed, a positive solution rather than making the circumstance worse so that things just go right down the drain. And that
right.
can happen. So a lot of people don't like being around me.
Why, Miss Eliza? Why you say that?
I get, oh, nothing ever bothers you. And I'm like, I don't know why you think that, but things do bother me, but I think about it and then I try to find a positive solution. Oh, you're too
Right.
happy. I had somebody tell me, oh, I didn't really like you when I met you because you were always just so happy. But once they got to know me and they got to see under the surface that I had problems just like anybody else, it was just how I handled it was different.
Hmm.
But and so then they liked me better once they knew that I had, problems. Everything wasn't all bubbles and no troubles.
Right. But that's what I am intrigued about by you, is that I inspire to be where you are, in a holistically. I
Mm-hmm.
pray that I reach the level where I do give compassion freely. Like when something agitates me, I don't always want my first reaction to be raw and go into a rant.
Oh,
I
you saying go to,
want to.
no, you didn't hear me say take that breath so that you don't go
Right.
to the rant.
I'm saying I skipped, forget the breath. Forget the breath. I can be that person, forget the breath. But I'm saying, and all, even though, and it's not saying that it's all bad and it's a negative thing. It's just
Yeah.
that when I see areas in my life where I can grow, especially when, especially because we're talking about holistic health for couples. I'm really talking about in my personal space with
Right.
my companion. I know that there's areas where I can grow. So I'm not speaking in general. I'm not, I'm speaking, even though I don't gotta say that, explain that, but I am for context so people can understand that I'm really doing the work that is in this
Right.
book right
Right.
now.
Right.
So
So
what you
I wanted to tell you so that you don't think that, like, that I'm perfect at this, because people think that. But my
Oh, no,
husband
no,
is
no. I don't think that. But if you want to
he,
communicate that, for
yeah,
everybody else, you can. But I don't think that. Not at
my
all.
husband did something and I got triggered by it, and I had to, and I went off, and nobody ever sees me go off, and they were like in shock, like, and it was something that he said, and I said, he brought something up that was traumatic to me from when we were young, because like I said, I've known him for over 40 years, and after it's over, I apologized to him. I said, you know what, I just reacted. I said, I don't know why it triggered me like that, but it did. And I said, you just know too much of my business, because it does happen. You don't. But just being
So
aware, like you said, being aware, and it's
right.
okay. It's
So what I mean, and let me put it in this context because I'm not misunderstood or misled. I know that we come with flaws. You are my sister, so I know some of your,
right.
I'm privileged in that area. But what the compliment that I was giving you is, I've always heard this saying and I've adopted it to my life. Slow to speak and quick to listen.
Mm-hmm.
But then we hear that there is another association, slow to anger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of slow but the one thing that I want to in this moment pay attention to is slow to anger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it takes
Oh yeah.
maturity to get to that place to be slow to anger. although I am aware that I am imperfect in all my ways, but what I'm
Mm,
also aware of is that God turns everything around for my good. He will
yes,
turn my mess
that's
into
the
a message. I am for
that's
sure
it.
and for certain of that. Did you get your copy of Remember Me? And it takes one to know one and People Pusher. If not, go over to pusherlife.org and get your copy today. That was my commercial break, people. But no, I aspire to get to the place of that much humility. For me, that's what humility looks like, when you can set aside your first reaction to a thing. I'm
Hmm.
aware that I am not quite there yet. I got to do a couple more steps before I get to you. I can't respond. I can't go get you a glass of water right now, even though I know agitated. Even though I know you have. No, I can't get you, no, because I want to be heard. I want you to understand what I'm saying. I'm saying I want to do less of that. I'm only being honest. I wanted.
No,
I wanted.
and that's true. You have to
Yeah,
when you want to be heard though, it's a two-way communication. Is the other person ready to listen? Can they hear you at that point in time?
right.
Or
No.
can you delay and wait till they can hear you?
No, because in that moment I'm being selfish, and because I can tell the truth. But Miss Eliza,
Yeah.
you told the truth, so I gotta tell the truth because I'm trying to get where you at. I'm saying you said I am aware that he was outside
Yeah. In the heat.
in the
100
heat,
degrees. Yep.
and I know that when he comes in here, he is going to be agitated. I
Hmm.
am not going to take it personal. What I'm
Hmm.
going to do is go get him some water
Hmm.
to cool him off so he can
Hmm.
calm down.
Hmm.
Miss
Hmm.
Eliza, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing
Okay.
that. No, I know. I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm saying I won't do it that quickly.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
won't do it that quickly. And so now I realize, listening to you, that I have to make an adjustment, another adjustment, because I'm owning my stuff. And I
Right.
do take this stuff seriously because we're talking about holistic health for couples. We're talking about how to maintain a healthy relationship. And although in all seriousness, I know I'm joking and I'm playing, but with all seriousness, it does take work. It takes
Yes.
work, and you
Yes.
have to be willing. You have to be a willing participant and unselfishly be a
Yeah.
participant in the other's person life that you choosing. Whether you are living together or at a distance, if this is the person that you are choosing, what I'm hearing is saying you got to basically get over yourself. Today is not your day. God gave you the vision to see and the discernment to know that something is going on, and he gave you the wisdom to be the solution to fix it. But yet you still want to stand on business and speak your mind and say what you got to say, and knowing that this energy ain't for you. Where's the peace? If you know this energy isn't for you, why are you feeding it? Why are you becoming the very thing that your spouse is trying to get away from? It's like we morph into that energy. I just got that download just now. So I thank you
Wow.
for that,
Hmm.
for help freeing me. So this ain't a gimmick, people. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I am. The pusher is getting pushed, and it wasn't planned this way. It wasn't planned this way. But when wisdom speaks, we got to listen and take hold of what belongs to us, especially when wisdom shows up. Sometimes we don't want to hear it when it comes from our older generation, our elders, those that know more than us, those that have experienced life more than us. We don't want to hear it. Nicole Green says, I'll go silent and end up shutting down, not wanting to talk at all. Is this overcorrection or something else?
Well, you get to know yourself. So in relationships, because I do couple coaching as well, if somebody can't, like I was saying, someone can't hear you and they tell you they can't hear you, are you going to respect that? Give them a moment to go walk off and be silent, pull themselves together, and then come back to it at a later point. Not ignoring it, not addressing it, but doing it when it can be productive rather than more disruptive.
Mm.
And that's okay. It's the same thing with parenting. Your children, you need a respite, then go take it, but then come back and address it and find a positive solution if you can.
If
But
it's
it's
in, if
okay to
it's okay to
yeah.
do what?
It's okay to be quiet and take yourself off so you can think about what you want to do, or you can calm down or whatever. That's perfectly okay. Everybody's reaction is different. Like I said, we're not perfect, but knowing yourself and knowing what you need in order to maintain or pull yourself back into balance, that's healthy. So
Right.
just what does that look like for you? That's different for everybody.
Okay. What you feed will definitely grow. Choose your battles. What you think about that?
I
What
agree
you
with that. That's right. What you feed. So if you're gonna feed, like I said, if you're gonna learn how to diffuse situations, then that's what you're gonna grow. You're gonna have a peaceful life. If you are going to escalate things, well, then you're gonna have a whole lot of drama. And some
wow,
people
yeah.
like drama.
Yeah, well, I don't like drama, so I'm gonna grow up a little bit more, and I'm gonna go ahead and get that glass of water. I'm gonna go ahead and get that
Yes,
glass of
okay.
water. It's just is what it is. I'm gonna go get that glass of water, Miss Eliza. I'm telling you,
So you
and I'm
know
gonna
what I
do it with
think
a
about
smile on
this?
my face, huh?
I think this is the brain science. So if you know that if you have a reaction and it triggers your brain in a way that's not healthy, that's what we call the cortisol reaction. Or if you know that if I do this, it's going to create a oxytocin thing where you have joy. It brings forth a peace of mind and it promotes good health. Then I think about that because I say I can choose how my brain to function. That I can choose to be angry or mad or escalate stuff and have a negative reaction. So I can't eat. My stomach gets riled up. I get a headache or a migraine, or I have to just get fatigued and go fall out in the bed. Or I can choose a different reaction where I can continue to function, maintain my balance. I might not be happy, but I'm managing. I'm dealing with it.
Um,
I'm trying a different path.
right. Michelle said I'm gonna get him a big old glass of water.
And did you know water is a sedative?
No, I
Did you know
didn't.
that? Water is a
No,
sedative. You remember
I
if you
just
go back and think about it, when people start getting upset, they tell you go sit down and give you a glass of water because the water is going to calm you. Yeah.
wait a minute. Hold up, Miss Eliza. I'm sorry. I'm reading the chat. Michelle said, depending on how he respond, he might wear the glass of water. See, it all depends on the time of the month he need the water.
But again, that goes to quality of life. So if you're having hormonal issues, that's something to address, or that's something he is your partner. He needs to know. Oh, it's that time of month, so I need to
So
give her
it's
a
vice
wide berth.
versa. So now
Yes,
the roles
right,
now the roles reverse, and
right,
now because around this time of the month I'm gonna be agitated, I'm gonna
right,
be
right.
frustrated,
Yeah,
I
right,
ain't gonna be in the mood.
right.
So
That's,
from your experience, how does that response go?
oh, it worked. My husband was we. There were five of us in the house, and he said, you know what? He said that estrogen ain't gonna get me. He says I have testosterone, so he would know. Okay, I'm just gonna take a step back because somebody's, he had four daughters and a wife. Somebody, somebody's having some things going on with them, so I'm just gonna take a step back, and he does, and he'll pull back. Okay, is it safe? So yeah, you just have to be aware of what things trigger you. Yeah.
Yeah. So all
So the
right,
cycle with women, yeah.
Miss Eliza, they can't
A
take life
smart man,
serious. A
a
smart
smart
man.
man will know that.
Right. A smart man would know that. Right.
That's
So
right.
Miss Eliza, they are in the chat tripping. They said so Salone, you heard what Michelle said. Salone said this about to be a water fight in summer. Nicole said with crushed ice. Aunt said, y'all are funny. Michelle said that part. He will get ice on top of ice.
Well, if you have the relationship where they don't take it the wrong way, because like I would always, one of the things I would say to my husband when he would start acting up, because I used to be 100 pounds heavier. I said, "Man, I'm gonna body slam you." Now my husband is really strong. I could never do that, but he would just laugh. But I would tell him, "I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna body slam." Yeah. So it's all about your relationship and how people take things. So if they're gonna be offended and get angry, because there's some things I know he'll get really angry about and he won't speak to me, and I'm just like, okay, well you just need to go. We can go in our own corners and we can work it out and we can come back and talk later, and we
Right,
do. Yeah.
right. So I can say that I've matured to the place where we only and there's nothing significant ever going on. So I'm like, I don't even know. One would be like you making a big deal, but for me, really, I know that I want to. I don't want to be a reactionary. I want to
Mm,
respond, and I want to respond with compassion because in this work that I do, it becomes stressful. And like
mm-hmm,
most of, what would you say for those that have jobs that is taxing on your heart, that's taxing on your mind, and it weighs on you? And sometimes, especially if you talk for a living, sometimes
mm-hmm,
you don't want to always talk. Sometimes by the time you get home, you don't really have the capacity for one to deal with more stuff. And so at some point, what I'm learning just from this conversation, you got to know when to cut stuff off. You really have to know when to cut it off, and you got to know when to pick it back up. You can't take everything that you do inside of your home. I'm learning that because that's not what it's for. And so you definitely have to respect. What I'm learning is your significant other and understand that you two got two different visions, got two different paths, got two different journeys, and you got to leave room for everybody to grow and learn together, and understanding that we're not going to learn in the same, like you said earlier, everybody isn't going to process the information in the same speed.
right,
And so we gotta give great. We gotta. That's when we give the grace, and that's how we
right,
give that compassion. That's how we show up and respond in love. Because the more we are understanding ourselves, we open ourselves up to understand and really understand the person that is beside us, and not see them as an enemy because they may not show up the way that exactly what we are creating in our mind how they should be. We have done this in our throughout our lives with other people, or people have done it to us. And I see and hear that I'm doing it to a certain extent. It's hard out here for us introverts. This is a man talking. What would you say about that, Miss Eliza?
what do you mean? I'm not following. A
He
man
said it's
speaking.
hard. Yeah, he said it's hard out here for us introverts.
So absolutely, and in the African American community, it really is tough because of the trauma that's been visited. So again, that awareness and understanding of all the that's why I talk about layers of things that are going on. So you have yourself and your personal stuff, but then you have to look at community trauma, the historical trauma, if you're talking about the African American community, and then raising that awareness. So how have I been impacted? How do I react because of that? And then what are some things I can do to mitigate those things?
Right. So how
And
can
so
we get
after that, hmm,
so how can
go
we
ahead.
get your book? Where can we go at
Okay.
to get your book?
You know what? I didn't get the the Global Butterfly Effect website, I guess, is one place, and I didn't get
Yeah,
the Amazon
Global Butterfly
Amazon
Effect.
thing.
PUS'HERCommunity.com is
Right.
where they can go. Do you have any on hand?
And I have copies. I'm getting ready to get 20 more copies. I will be at the House of Chiefs tomorrow evening. This is 4603 York Road. And I'm going to plan on being there every Thursday through the summer. So if people want to come and get a autograph, a signed copy, they can. But I'm having another What's the News party on July 19th, which is a Saturday, from 2 to 6, and we'll be talking about the 4th of July. This past one, we talked about Juneteenth, and also going to talk about the Universal Negro Improvement Association, and then I'll do a book signing because that ties in with cooperative economics and collective work and responsibility. So if you can come out June 19th to 4603 York Road, you're invited, and I will send you the flyer that you can post for the listeners.
All right. High Def Tone said you were talking about how stressful jobs can drain us and we don't want to talk much once we get home. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, bingo.
Okay.
But what Miss Eliza taught me in that it goes both ways. So it goes both ways, and I pray that everybody don't have the same day, but even if you do, you find a way. You go to your corner, I go to my corner. You do your thing, I do my thing, but at least we are present together. And that is what I am learning to do. I'm
Yeah, and
definitely learning to do.
if you're self-aware and you know how you're feeling, or even if your makeup, because I'll tell my husband, you know what, I hear what you're saying. I'm not in agreement with what you're saying because that's not what I'm feeling. Because those I statements, and again, it depends on the different personalities. Is how do you work it out? But
Right.
being able to state how you're feeling that's real and authentic, it really is
Hmm.
powerful to do that to one another. So if you get into
Right.
that habit, then you will know uh, when to step back or when to support or pamper or whatever.
Right. Okay. So
And
you
it does
can
go
if
both ways.
right. So if you want to hear or really read more about what Miss Eliza is offering, I want you to go to globalbutterflyeffectcommunity.com and you will see her book. I want you to purchase it, Holistic Health for Couples. It is really, really helpful. It definitely will help you. In a simple way. It isn't difficult. It isn't like wordy. It's straight to the point, and it will get you where you need to be as long as you have an idea of where it is you're trying to go. It will definitely work for you. As you can see in and out, I've actually strategically kind of did some assignments from what I've learned just by reading the book. So it is really, really a good read. And so I want you to go over there to globalbutterflyeffectscommunity.com and purchase the book. Also, you can catch her every Thursday at House of Chief. I'm just reiterating.
Hmm.
Every Thursday throughout the summer, she will have books on deck to sign and take pictures with her too. You want to definitely create memories. Excuse me. You want
Hmm.
to create memories. And like Michelle said in the chat, congrats, Lady Eliza. We are so proud of you on behalf of the Women's League of Baltimore. We want to say you are rocking out, and we are so proud to be your sisters and keep pushing forward. Um, in the meantime, oh yeah, let me reiterate the challenge. If you have taken the pledge, healing 1 million people, one person at a time, what I want you to look for by Friday, I will send an email out. I want you to read the email and respond forward, ever, backwards, never to the email. And then next Wednesday, July the 2nd, during season 2, episode 18, The first three people that put in forward ever, backwards never, I have something really, really special for you. I just made that up today while I was getting ready. It was in my heart to do. So just be on the lookout. No later than Friday for an email from me. Remember, respond to the email forward ever, backwards never, and then come on Wednesday. The first three people who put in forward ever, backwards never. You have to take the pledge. Healing 1 million people. There's a link at pusherlife.org. Go over there and take that pledge, and then next respond to the email forward ever, backwards never, and then next week those that responded forward ever, backwards never, the first three will receive something really, really special from yours truly. In the meantime, between time, I love you, and there's nothing, I mean absolutely nothing you could do about it. Thank you, Miss Eliza, for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for the laughter. Thank you for making it easy to be myself. I know sometimes I could be all over the place, but take me as I am. I appreciate that so much. I love listening to you. I can only take it in doses. I can't overwhelm myself with information, because then it's something that I'm not going to use because I'm a check out. And so I just thank you for just pushing forward with us and just sharing with us. And it has definitely blessed me already. So I thank you for adding to my life with holistic health for couples. And I hope that someday we can come back and see where I'm at as a result of doing the book. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is your girl Pusher. If you're not pushing forward, you're moving backwards. Say it out loud. Forward ever, backwards never. No, really say that thing out loud. Forward ever, backwards never. Have you gotten your copy of It Takes One to Know One workbook and journal and people pusher? No, then travel over to pusherlife.org, go to the author's page, and you will find It Takes One to Know One and People Pusher. Come tap in.